What's up, YouTube? Man, as you guys know, 2K, since they introduced 1v1 courts, post scores have been ruling them. In 2K19, you could easily tell, pure post scores, shock rate, and post scores, they were dominating the 1v1 court. And if you went to the 1v1 court with any build that wasn't a post score, people looked at you like you were an idiot. They're like, you asked for this. Why would you ever go to 1v1 court? Post scores rule that. But in 2K20, post scores, they kind of became too slow for the 1v1. You see, I'm going up against, what is that, guys? Elite 3 Interior Force with Slashing Takeover. These are the kind of dudes that people would fear. But the problem with post scores is, last year post scores could really keep up with guards. The speed gap in the game wasn't that good. They could really, and plus they could hit a ton of fades, all that stuff. This year, post scores don't really have the greatest defense, especially when it comes to perimeter. Now, post scores can hold the paint, so if you come onto the 1v1 court with a pure slasher, it doesn't matter how fast you are. If you can't shoot, then they're going to be able to get a stop. You see, this dude's got some quick. He isn't the OG kind of post scorer, the one that, backs you down. He's more of like the hop stepper post scorer who, he'll go to the post fade and stuff whenever he has to, but he's looking to drive and get contact dunks. But still a post scorer, interior force, interior finisher, it is what it is. But post scores this year, like I was saying, if you can shoot and you can drive, and I airball that shot, stage lag, maybe someone was, losing a game, they had to, DDoS the server really quick, but I am back, I greened that one right there. But, yeah, man, perimeter defense is tough for post scores. It doesn't matter how you make it, and if you make your post score too short, to where you have the speed, and then you're not really going to be fading over people, you're not really going to be hooking over people, and you kind of need that because, it's just so hard to balance a post score this year. They have attributes all over the place. There's finishing for the post hook, there's shooting for the post fade, there's post moves in the playmaking category. If you want to balance a post score, you really got to put attributes all over the place. That's going to make it where the badges are all spread out, and it's just tough to do. 2K really, post scoring, don't get me wrong, is still OP. If you're hooking over people, you can get 100% hooks to go in, you can get 100% fades. But they did kind of tone down the drop steps and the post spins. Last year, especially when people were getting that post takeover, they were throwing people with the drop steps. They were throwing people with the spins. It was almost impossible to stop standing layups. This year, drop steps, post spins, they just not that OP. They, really, if you take a standing layup and someone gets, a light, he blocks me right there. That should have been his. I will say it. But hey, man, 2K gave me one. They are blessing me. It's just, yeah, man, it's just not as OP. The hook, you basically got to hook every single time. You got to fade every single time, and you got to struggle with defense. That was the main dude. I got a couple other gameplays. Now, these guys aren't the greatest post scorers in the world. Don't get me wrong. But, they're still coming to the ante up. A lot of people, there's not a whole lot of post scores. Like, I was waiting around a while. I didn't play too many great post scores on this court. I would say the guy I played just there, he was probably the best one. He was, when I saw him playing, he was just dominating people. He was dunking, he was hooking, all that stuff. He didn't really get that many chances against me, but that comes back to the point. He didn't get that many chances because his defense wasn't good enough to stop me. He wasn't athletic, he wasn't fast. You see, most post scorers' plans, they're just going to sit in the paint, hope I miss, get the ball, start hooking, start fading. But in this 2K, you don't really, people at the beginning of the year, they were worried about, I can't hit a shot. But this year, right now, everyone's hitting shots. Look at me. I'm a post playmaker. I'm a 6'7" build with Hall of Fame playmaking, Hall of Fame defense. I only have a 71.3, and that's at 99.9, so I don't even always have the 71. And I'm greening like, I'm shooting with confidence. I'm thinking I'm never going to miss a shot. I hit 2 shots. Now he's got to play up a little bit. He probably could have just kept playing back and hoped I miss. But I am not missing. And you see that, dunk right there. Even when it comes to the interior defense, he's not, dominating me. I can still get in the paint, hit contested layups, get through him, get some contested dunks. It's not like the interior defense is just crazy. Yeah, man, that's a lot to say. What do you guys think about post scores, though? Some people would say it's more balanced this year. Oh, I would talk about another thing too, actually, while we're at it. You can actually force post, as I contact dunk this, man. Get him out of my way. I got Slashing Takeover. You can bump into post scores, especially if you have the Hall of Fame clamps. You can make them pick up the ball. It's a struggle for them to get to the paint, whereas last year, with the dribbling, how it was last year, post scores were basically cooking up, shooting threes, doing everything. They're just not OP this year. And what do you guys think about it? Do you think 2K did right by it? You think 2K still got to nerf them, got to buff them a little bit? You let me know. Now, I think for 2K21, Post scores are really, they're supposed to be slow. There's not really any athletic post scores, as I green a shot right there. There's not athletic post scores out there, really. I mean, there's some of the greatest players of all time were pretty athletic, you know. Hakeem the Dream, you know, Wilt Chamberlain, these dudes were athletic. And, I mean, I don't know if I call them post scores, but not like 2K, but they were post scores in the NBA. So, I mean, there's not like two-way post scores. There's not like, you know, athletic post scores that are kind of short but can do a whole lot. As I green them, get them out of there. One last game, like I said, you know, these last two games, they weren't anything crazy, but they were post scores. They fit the scheme of the video. I felt like, you know, they actually at least tried to play defense. I cannot stress it enough, man. I play so many like elite post scorers, and they would just sit in the paint the whole time like people cannot shoot in NBA 2K20. They were just like, all right, shoot wide open, shoot wide open, shoot wide open. And these were elite post scorers. I was like, what in the world? I mean, you got to be really non-confident in your ability to play perimeter defense just to let somebody shoot. That should be something, you know, maybe as a last resort. Maybe if you've got torched to the paint like 4 times and you're like, all right, there's no way I can guard him. Now I just got to sit in the paint and hope for a miss. I mean, that should be like a last resort, right? But these dudes starting off the game, not even attempting to guard you. You see here, he was on first, so he gets to shoot right there. You know, he had a drop step, he hit a hook. That was good by him. You know, post score 17%. I felt pretty good about that defense. But post scores, I mean, they should get some of those. And I feel like you really can contest post scores a lot better this year than last year. I mean, like, if someone was shooting a fade last year, that stuff was crazy. They were at the free throw line. There was no way. You would get a likely contest, and they would green that 100% of the time. I'm shooting a white to start off. Let me see if I can get anything. A little bit out of energy. Got to finesse my way to the paint with the reverse green light. Yeah, but I feel like you can get a decent contest on post scores. Now, if you're a guard, if you're a playmaking shot creator, if you're an offensive threat, you have no interior defense, you have no block rating, you don't belong on the 1v1 court, you're not going to get contests, you're not going to stop anybody in the paint, and what you're doing to yourself is what you're doing to yourself, all right? You know, putting yourself in a bad situation. But if you got good interior defense, as long as you're about 6'7", you can get decent stops. Now, they're going to hit a couple 100% smothers, but they're not going to hit every 100% smothered. You know, people like to exaggerate. They like to be like, oh, you know, I lost the game. He hits 10 100% smothered hooks. Nobody's going to hit 10 100%, you know, 100% smothered hooks. I mean, if they do, I'm sorry, I lied to you, but hey, in my experience, my 3,000 games played, I have never lost to somebody hitting 10 straight 100% hooks. But you see here, it's Royal Moss, man. Nothing left to say in this commentary. Point is across. I got my slice to take over now. I mean, he's playing good hands up. I will say this dude played it about as well as he can. But if you see how he's kind of sitting at the mid-range, you know, like he's going to get his contest if I shoot. And I can't really just bulldoze my way into him or he's going to get a contest. So he's kind of forcing me to take the reverse. Now, I know you guys think reverses are cheesy, hop steps are cheesy. But it's not about being cheesy. It's about making the right basketball play. Sometimes, you know, 2K is the one that made him cheesy. You don't have to spam him. Like, if he was sitting in the paint, I'm not just going to run in and do a reverse dunk every single time, no matter what. I'm taking what he's giving me, just like right there, you know. The mid-range was right there. There was no reason not to take it. So I'm shooting it 2-20 behind the back. Can I get a contact dunk to finish it? For some reason, I take a shot. That is not like me to not go for the contact dunk. What is up? It's Royal Moss. He did hit he hit a fade on me early. Let's see what he's got now. He's got some nice ball handle. That quick first step gold, something different, no matter what build. But like I said, 7% contested. Those are the kind of shots that post scores would never miss. And now he's missing. I mean, it's I'm sure he thinks it's disgusting, but it's the way 2K is this year. I mean, paint defense is always messed up, but at least it works better for post scores. Gonna get him out of here right here, 2-20. He playing up on me. Big dunks. This is Tonic Man. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.